Alright, this is Michael and we've got David here.
Indeed.
This is the first game from the elimination rounds of the Store Championship at the Game Corner in Christchurch, New Zealand.
We've got Ben versus, that is indeed me on the left, and Ben, polite as ever, kicks off with a fist bump.
Yeah, so these guys are starting the game pretty fast. We've got David here is playing Palana Foods.
Classic opening, Ice Hedge Fund.
And Ben is playing Reina.
First turn, that was a career fair into a daily card.
Yep, so this is a...
I think in general this matchup is favors Palana because Reina, with her denial, struggles a little to keep up with Palana's sort of constant drip econ, as it were, through its ability. But we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
So Ben, career fair out of daily casts.
You can see he's already struggling to think of a move to make here.
Indeed. But that's just Ben, really, isn't it?
Well, this Palana does build a strong board state.
Indeed.
Not really knows yet.
So that's the structure.
It's quite common for this Palana builds to just entirely use operation economy for their econ.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but I believe that I may be doing something of that ilk.
I think it is quite common that the only economy card that anyone runs apart from operations is Palana Agriflex. I don't know whether you have that here in this build or
not. You will find out. I don't want to keep on
that means yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Ben at this stage is largely just moneying up.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have any pieces to be aggressive yet. He doesn't know what my eyes are like. He might consider face checking at some point just to maybe spend a little.
Yeah.
So, and I appear to just be setting up as well. Double icing my HQ, and there's an upgrade there. So, I believe I'm expecting some sort of HQ assault, whether that be a count siphon or more likely in this case ban. And possibly Lamprey as well. But
yeah. So the face down card on HQ, my immediate suspicion would be Christchurch Grid or Caprice Nisei.
Indeed. Of course, it could quite possibly be some not so elaborate bluff. The Cyberdeath, and I wanted to find something else.
Yep.
And there he finds that is a trash of a Christchurch Grid.
Yeah, so that sort of hints
that it is in fact not a Christchurch, but of course it could still be a Caprice Nisei or a Becky.
Yeah.
Another ice over HQ?
Over
R&D, sorry. Yeah. And an upgrade over R&D. Believe at this stage I'm also expecting a keyhole. I am making a lot of assumptions of what type of Reina Ben will be playing. But in general, those are good cards for Reina, for a denial-oriented Reina.
It's not a bad assumption considering he did take it to the cup.
Indeed. Keyhole's a good card. Count Siphon is also a good card. And he drops another Liberated, so evidently he is, well, fortunately he's drawing them, but he is just intending to money up at this stage.
Yeah.
So I think definitely at this stage I was expecting an incoming ban.
From what I see, his only money cards are Liberated accounts and Daily Cast.
Daily Cast about to take down to empty, yes. That Cloneship on the table does inform me 3 of his influence, well, 2 plus the 1 reduction. So that is helpful and indicates that he might not, for me it suggests he might not be running Cyphers, but there may still be 2.
Yeah. So is this him running Archives?
Yes, this is him running Archives and me popping Jackson, shuffling a Future Perfect, I believe the Christchurch, and I think a Hedge Fund.
Yep.
This is a kind of time where occasionally people would be tempted to shuffle in the Restructure because it's more money and I'm sitting on 15. But of course against Reina that can very quickly change.
Yeah, and Restructure is a liability because it requires so many credits to work. Yeah, I mean, if your suspicion on Fan is true, I never played Ben, so I can't comment on that. although I think I heard him mention it was event tech, you would hope to see some sort of permanent economy card come on board, such as Katie Jones.
Yeah. I think he's probably looking for one of those as well. Of course, the reason I shuffled in the Chrysium here is because that's rather important in this matchup. So yeah. I was hoping to find that again. So if you notice at this stage, I'm putting a credit on top of my ID and turning it face down with the beautiful 10 Covenant credits. Once it activates for the turn, I'll add the credit to my pool and then turn another credit face down on top of my ID to indicate that this is no longer applicable.
Yeah.
Ben drops a second daily cast and installs a turntable. So good to know, but not terribly good to see for me.
Yeah. Can be risky.
Indeed.
It really depends on the agenda spread in your court, but it's actually a lot more uncommon to see 1-point agendas and 3-point agendas in the same decks these days.
And I suppose it does help as well because there are also a number of agenda spreads nowadays that you don't really, both you want to swap because you don't want them to have the agenda they have, but you also don't want to give them what you buy. Yeah. If they've got an Issei with an Issei Mark II with a token, do you really want to swap that for the Global Food Initiative that you just took?
That's a really hard choice.
It's a very hard choice, and I think it's game state dependent as to whether you do it.
Yeah. I've definitely done it before.
As have I, and I think I've regretted it occasionally. So Ben drops the Eater on the table. So again, this is sort of telling me he's going for a denial, and quite possibly a keyhole. Eater and keyhole are a match made in heaven, as the preclusion of access is irrelevant because keyhole is an instead of accessing effect.
One problem with Eater and Vamp is if you are able to score a single Issei Mark II token, you're able to very effectively deny that.
I wonder whether this will play in this game.
And he is Assassin.
It is
not the best card to face check.
No, it isn't.
As I found out in my game against you.
not on camera, but I believe that was amusingly cut short. So Ben has run and face checked an Assassin. At this stage, I have only paid 7 for the Assassin because I am an idiot. I have forgotten about Reina's ability. I believe I will rectify that eventually. Thanks, Donald.
Taking the photo. Is he deciding whether to continue?
No. That was turn 4. I after that turn he checked out after breaking the Assassin. I gained a credit. I stuck and installed a card in the remote. I believe that is either a Marcus Batty or a Caprice Nisei. I think Ben is just contemplating his options at this point. Unfortunately, I'm not overly rich because that can very quickly change with just 1 or 2 runs. But the upgrades on 2 central servers is not the thing that Reina likes to see.
And 2 mid-range accounts go. And brings out David.
It'll be helpful against Assassin.
Yes. A lot of cards, really. One of the most annoying things I find when I play against Palana is you're able to get your money down really low, and then they just bring out the celebrity gift.
Yes. 3 credits. How terrible. Just joking. I'm actually on 10 credits and 11 credits in your turn.
Yeah, it's very deceptive. Another card on HQ.
It really is the brown ETF / the red ETF. You asked regarding the color of Jinteku? It's brown, by the way. Okay, then draw the cards again. I'm really enjoying my passive economy here. Very considerate man, Ben. I also see that Ben has a keyhole in his hand, so he's able to go. He has easily sufficient memory to do so. but I don't think he wants to repeatedly run through that assassin.
Assassin is very good ice in terms of dex ability.
Mm-hmm. Fortunately, because he is Reina, the one... no, I don't think the one link is ever going to be relevant. Not enough. In a pinch, perhaps, but...
It is more effective.
Yeah. If you ever want the access, though, to get rid of the upgrade at the base of the server.
Yes.
And that is a parasite. I believe I asked there if that was being placed on the assassin, to which you replied, it's the only red dice on the board.
Yes. Being can be quite sarcastic like that sometimes.
And we love them. Okay.
Still helps you learn about the game a lot though. Because you were sarcastically telling me, you do know architect can't be trash, right? I was like, yes. I now do, thank you.
Okay, so he's parasited the assassin. He's evidently intending to hopefully get through that R&D for some keyholes. But that turn, install, advance the card in the remote. So I'm basically prepped to score.
And you pre-res the Caprice because you're worried about Casimir?
Yes, so I should note at this stage that Democracy and Dogma was legal for this tournament. There were some mishaps and hiccups about it, but in the end it was determined it was legal, so I am aware that Councilman is a card, and I am preparing myself against it.
And if you're worried about political operative, you do have defense in HQ.
That was the idea.
Also, if you're worried about political operative, you're already screwed.
Indeed.
So I'm assuming this is probably the Mise Mark II.
Well. So Ben's drawing a lot at this point. I don't think he's intending on contesting the remote. And that's a career error of Kenny Jones. I think he would have liked to have found that earlier, but bitter. Can't say an expression in butcher, but yeah. I'm just glad he got it for his. And it is the Mise Mark II, the better one for him. Okay, so Parasite has 2 tokens on it. So the assassin is currently strength 3.
Yeah.
So he may be closer to going for his keyhole as it hits the table.
So only 3 credits to break an assassin either. And we can see he has 13 credits, so he
can likely do this a fair number of times. I think he is initiating a keyhole run at this point. Hence me looking at my various ice on board. Okay, he breaks the assassin. And I res an Ichi. Fantastic for 2 influence.
Yeah. No happy camper about that.
At this stage I'm not resing any upgrade at the base of my server. So if it is a Caprice, I decide that my remote is more important at this stage.
Yes. Because Caprice is unique, so if you res Caprice in R&D, you lose the one in your remote.
Ben is contemplating what he wants to do here. Whether he will click through, whether he will...
He does have the 1 link, so he can just trace fire.
I believe he clicked through there, yeah. He was on 13 credits, I believe.
Yeah.
And he paid for it, yes. So he just clicked through that. I think he may have left a click to let the trace fire. And with his keyhole, he hits a batty.
Yep. Good hit. Not the best hit, but a good hit.
I believe this is an overly long shuffle.
Good for you, playing Museum of History.
Better safe than a gym blood.
So it is an interesting interaction with Eddie to not get to see the first down card. So
Ben did not actually draw that turn, which I asked. And a little bit mournful about. As mentioned before, Reina very quickly does make the credits drop when she wants to. So all of a sudden I'm down to 6 credits and realize that my HQ is no longer nearly as secure as it was previously. So it's just a click for 3 credits. Yeah. Short gamble on Ben's part.
Yep.
And a run on HQ. And just the ice I wanted.
Those were expensive.
I did remember, I have been remembering from that point now, I believe, to pay the extra rain tax.
Yes.
I did pay for that sort of thing. And I had a councilman, which I'm very pleased about.
Yes.
At this point, Ben's debating whether he is going to continue.
So, are you just checking this up, or did you skip the second dust?
No. He's contemplating whether he wants to continue, and I'm contemplating whether I want to raise the ice. It's either one of the two. Depends on who I want to blame for taking too long. Quite possibly me. At this stage, if I raise the piece of ice, I almost certainly can no longer defend my caprice remote.
Yes.
But of course, if I let him continue, then he is liable to trash my upgrade on HQ, and I no longer have a defense for any incoming.
Surprised that he hasn't used his Katie Jones yet.
Indeed. Riveting stuff. This is the kind of interesting Netrunner thing where, believe me, it's a complex series of decision trees going on mentally, but to any casual observer, it just took a very long time to raise a 5-cost piece of ice. So that's another Ichi.
Yes. And this was his first click running on it?
This was his second click, first click short gamble.
Yes. So you know he can just click through it?
You can click through it.
Or he can just click it uses plunger. Because he is debating.
Tentative grip on the plunger indicates he is... And I think he is going to... Okay, he is going to do it. At this stage, he grabs back the... Eater. There we go. Eater to flank the
I'm curious what his end goal is here.
Yeah, I actually remember this plan was a little bit quizzical because I thought it might have been a better idea to simply continue. But the reason he did that was so that he could subsequently, with me at 0 credits, run and trash the fruits.
Yes.
Did make sense. I was not willing to spend any state token to stop him there. And that's a snap. Click for 2 credits.
Assassin's very close to do as well.
Mm-hmm. So actually, despite my Mise Mark II score, Ben's board state / game state has improved a fair amount.
Yes. Well, he's lost a lot of money on that eater play.
Mm-hmm. That's Donald reaching across the table asking for a lolly. So,
important business.
And that's another sure gamble. Another sure gamble. Looks like about putting in K2. Is it? The draw, I believe that was at least one draw, sure gamble.
Yes.
Exactly as you described. So I have a second Nisei Mark II and Global Food Initiative in hand.
Yeah, and there was also a Caprice Nisei hedge fund and interns, I believe.
That was well spotted. I was not quick enough to determine. And all of a sudden, from 4 credits all the way up to 15.
Yes. It's just terrifying.
And at the end of my turn, I res and trash my Cyberdex, which I was bluffing as a Tritium on R&D, so as to save my assassin.
Yes. With the interns in hand, you could even
Indeed
get that Prisium crit back if you're worried.
I think I have shuffled it back into my deck at this point.
Yes. Get some vamp, I see in D10.
I believe I see a vamp. The draw. I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
I think he just drew.
I believe he drew at least. I believe he drew a couple of times and did. Yeah, cave for the turn. Wasn't sure how many draws occurred. Okay. Install. Advance. There we go.
Yeah. That's just terrifying when you know there's a Caprice and an Issei in the hand.
Not really much of a question as to what that is. And again, I preemptively res the Caprice and Issei, given that I have seen Councilman, and it's certainly possible that there is another one. I am fairly more confident at this point that political operative is no longer a problem because my HQ is, while not entirely secure, more so than before.
He's at the point where even to get into HQ and still a political operative, he would lose a lot of.
He would lose the Eater again.
Well, the Eater won't help him get there.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Whereas I'm not.
Okay, so what is Ben going to do here? He knows this is one of those pivotal decisions for the game. I remind him that he has an extra second token on his parasite. First, take money off King.
He's also seen the global food in your hand, so he knows that if you score this,
then it's very likely gain
2 turns.
Or possibly just a little bit longer, so that I can recover economically.
Yes.
Either way. And that's his second clone ship. Between 2 clone ships and at least 1 parasite. Ah, there we go. Okay, drops the Councilman and plays the band. So he chooses to let Swordsman fire, so he loses his Eater and takes net damage. I believe the Councilman is to prevent any res of an HQ upgrade, such as Batty or potentially another Caprice or a Chrism.
Yes. My suspicion at this point is that it would be a Caprice on HQ given the.
The stage bin has opted to let me fire all of my subroutines.
Wow.
Yes, I was fairly surprised about this as well.
He's going all or nothing on this one.
Mm-hmm.
That would pay off if you didn't have an Issei token.
So, choose to trash the David and the Parasite. I deem that Keyhole is not relevant if you can't get into R&D. At this stage, I contemplate whether I shall res third ice on HQ. Choose not to res. But
there's an upgrade for it.
I can't. Well, I could, but Councilman will de-res it.
And it crashes the Councilman.
That's true.
And if you're about to get banned anyway.
Oh, there are all relevant concerns, if not for yellow looking counter on the board.
There is an Issei token, unavended.
I'm pleased, and I avoided calamity and likely have this agenda next turn. This turn, sorry. And it is the other bad one. So, situation is looking very dire for Ben.
Should actually have 2 more credits than that, I believe.
Yes, I believe that as well. I was informed.
It's lucky then. It is quite common for people when they get to the last rounds and I know this stop thinking as well about these simple tasks that everyone knows. Everyone just sort of looks at them and says, "Why didn't you do that?"
I believe the menial credit gaining I was already screwing up on in the earlier rounds, but particularly in the later rounds.
Yes, it's that sort of deep brain you get in you.
Mental fatigue. That is very, very relevant in that round. So Ben is keyholing. He's running R&D. He breaks the assassin and he trashes it with. He reses it with his crescendos.
Yes.
And he continues through the Ichi.
Now he knows you can't really use that as well because
Because of Reina.
Pay extra credit with Reina.
Assuming we both remembered.
Crazium Grid.
And the Crazium again.
Must be very disappointing.
A little bit of a belated gaining of the credit, but Ben is a generous, kind-hearted man, so he allowed it.
Yes.
Okay, so I have the Global Food Initiative in my hand, as we've seen.
Yes.
But I doubt that I'm intending to score it next turn because I have 8 credits. It all depends. It all depends on what the ice is protecting the Capri Serve. If it is something cheap like a wall of static, I may well be considering it.
Pop.
That as well.
That's a favourite play. The Side Game Master.
I think actually in this deck, this is basically a card for card copy of the big boys list. I cut 1 pup for an Enigma because I really wanted more in the run. Ice be present.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I like about Pup on the remote was back in the old RP days where if you've got a Nisei token, you've got Caprice, it's just very cheap, very taxing. You can score from a very low number of credits.
And you see, actually, at this stage, Ben only has 1 card anyhow.
Yes.
So actually, he really can't afford to take the net damage even. So
yes.
It really is basically an end of the game if he chooses to not pay the credits. And as we see, he actually has nothing. 0 credits.
There's 3 on Katie. Which is still not much.
Control.
First draw. And split.
Control.
Cool. He reminds you to take your credit.
Palana credit really is absurd. Making so much money this game. Yeah. Particularly when it mattered as well.
You really use it on one side as well.
So it seems that was the Global Food Initiative in the moment.
Yes. 4 keeps perfect to get for the draw.
And Ben is still on 0 credits. Yeah, he basically concedes at this point. He realizes there's no way to get into us.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was one of those interesting games, which I believe I actually I said at the time, it's one of those games which appears to have been very one-sided and that I won 7-0. But actually, of course, if a vamp had been landed prior to a Nisei being scored, this matchup turns from highly favoured for me to all of a sudden fairly terrible and difficult to recover from. Of course, that being said, Palana still gains passive economy, so you recover better from a vamp than many others.
I mean, you did get down to... I hear you saying this
in the
background.
yeah.
But you did actually go from 0 credits to 15 very fast.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it took 2 turns. Yeah, 0 to 4, and then up to 15 minutes turn. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was the first game of the top 4.
Yep.
I believe.
Next we'll have Luke and Chris.
That's right. Okay.
So,
see you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.